Hi there and welcome to the TaylorMade Workshops. Today I'm here with this beautiful Monster Energy Yamaha extended service Graves Yamaha R6. This is the championship leading bike, and today I'd like to talk to you a bit about our Bodywork, which is on this bike. We are a sponsor of the team, and the origins of the Bodywork go back to the dark months of winter when the Graves team came over to me to discuss designing new bodywork for the 2017 R6. So to help me with that, I'd like to introduce you to Keaton, who is the chief mechanic for the Graves team. Keaton, welcome to the TaylorMade Workshops.
Thanks
nice
for
to see
having
you.
me.
And thank you for bringing this just gorgeous bike. And so, as I mentioned before, you came over in many months ago now to talk about this new project, and you had a number of requirements. So what was it that you wanted to see in this new bodywork?
One of the biggest things for us was keeping it very, very similar to the stock shape, because it is the most aerodynamic bike that Yamaha's made. So that leading into the technical regulations require the same thing essentially. So it kind of worked out.
Yeah, so I know when Yamaha announced the bike, they said it was the most aerodynamic bike. And so we worked very hard to keep the aerodynamic integrity of the design.
Hey, how's it going, guys? As far as the Yamaha R6 bodywork, this has been an amazing set. What I really like most about it is that it gives me some more protection from the winds when I'm out there riding. And for me, even though we have the same engine as last year, I've been finding that my top speeds are higher. So they really did a great job with the aerodynamics, with the full ergonomic design, everything. That I wouldn't change anything.
The second thing is the two-piece versus four-piece design. We worked really hard trying to figure out, come up with which way to go, and we kind of went to the GP paddock for advice for that and decided to go with the four-piece design, which gives us more accessibility to everything. You don't have to take the entire set of bodywork off to access one side in between a session. If you want to check the clutch, you just pop a side panel off. And that also is really important in a crash situation, to be able to replace the side panel instead of the entire upper or the entire lower. So using the four-piece design, we were a little hesitant at first, but I think we went the right way.
Yeah, so that was quite a requirement when you came to me with a picture of Ross's M1 and said, make this is what I want. But at TaylorMade, we love a challenge. You mentioned durability of the bodywork. How important is that in a race situation?
Well, when riders are going fast, they tend to crash every once in a while, and it's huge for them to be able to just pick the bike up and keep going if it's a small low side and not a destructive crash. So it actually, our first race this year, during qualifying, Garrett crashed, picked his bike up, and set pole on the crashed bike, which was really impressive.
Wow, that's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, we were pretty excited, and that was basically the first real test of the bodywork.
Yeah.
How's it going? Here to tell you a little bit about TaylorMade bodywork on the new R6. Really, I've loved it so much since we got it. Just the whole new design with the R6 is great. The wind protection is a lot better than it was before, and for me, even though it's the same engine as last year, I find that my top speeds have been higher this year, which is a big advantage all the time. So back at Coda this year, I had a little mishap in qualifying, and I went down, and I was pretty distraught, but I was able to pick the bike up, and the bodywork was still perfectly fine. Nothing was hanging off or anything like that. And I was able on the last lap, or my next lap, to set pole position. So really just a big testimony to the bike and to the bodywork, that everything's working together and durable.
Another thing that we talked about quite a bit was the design of the seat. What are your requirements for a seat design?
So our riders are very particular about the seat height, the shape of the seat, and if some of them require a hump in the rear of the seat, and they especially feel the rigidity of the seat while they're riding and moving around on the bike. So the seat that you came up with is extremely rigid with 4 mounting positions, and it is also adjustable, like up and down. So you can make, put a taller post in if you want your seat higher, which one of our riders actually has. The seat is where most of their body is connected to, so it's really important.
Yeah, and of course it makes, if you can get the rider comfortable, then he's more confident.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
he's happier. So you're able to tailor, forgive the pun, the seat height and to the actual rider, to what they want. So do the riders feel comfortable on the bike?
They definitely do, and they say not only the seat is comfortable, they feel really comfortable behind the windscreen while they're going down the straightaway. There's no turbulence. And
yeah. I find that very interesting because the screen here, this is the stock shape. It's not a double bubble or anything, but it is the stock shape. But the riders can get into the tuck and feel comfortable without buffeting. And I think you also mentioned that their competitors find it difficult to draft them down the straight.
Yes, they feel like they're in a wind tunnel when they're behind someone.
Yeah, and that's another sign of a good aerodynamic shape, which is not creating a lot of turbulence, so a big low pressure area that the competitors can draft by on. There are a number of aerodynamic details that we've put in. One of which is the belly pan, which extends back to the rear wheel and fills in that hole in front of the rear wheel. It's actually quite difficult to mold that, so we had to make a split mold. So in terms of retaining the aerodynamic integrity of the original Yamaha design, we've done quite a lot of work in our molds to be able to achieve it, to be able to actually make it. Another area is fit, and I know that you're very proud of the fit of the bodywork and worked very hard with us to get that. There's a couple of areas which you would notice, which is the split line between the upper fairing and the side panel, which you can see is very close fitting. Again, good for the aerodynamics.
And it also looks great too.
And it looks great, and that makes you feel good about working with the bodywork, does it?
For sure, yeah. It's a lot of people, don't realize how important that gap is. If the bike, when a rider gets on the bike and they see the motorcycle looks tidy, they're, much more confident.
Confident, that's a good word, yeah. The riders themselves, they look at the bike, they see a really nicely prepared bike, and it makes them feel good about getting on it and letting rip. Good, and so that's interesting. I'd never thought about how the rider would feel when he actually looks at the bike, and giving him confidence that the bike is well prepared and attention to detail.
That might be a secret I'm not supposed to be talking about, but...
Okay, yeah. And another area where fit is very important, but for performance, is the entrance to the air tunnel at the front of the fairing. And I know you were very particular about making that as tight and as clean as possible. And I guess it seems to be working, as you're posting some pretty impressive top speeds.
Yes, the trap speeds are quite impressive, and I think it has to do with everything, the tight air tunnel, the aerodynamics that we retained from Yamaha, and it all seems to be working. Yeah,
it's all in the details, isn't it? But they mount up, and you've certainly made a beautiful bike which is leading the championship. Keaton, thank you very much for dropping by and bringing your beautiful bike. Both your riders are at the top of the championship, so I fully expect them to be, or one of them to be on the top step holding the cup at the end of the year. So thank you very much, and the best of the luck for the rest of the season.
All right, thank you for giving us solid bodywork.
All righty.